diplomatic relations between the Republic of South Africa and the People's Republic of China, which came into effect on the 1st of January 1998. Over the past 25 years, the two countries have enjoyed wide-ranging bilateral relations, which have since been elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership and underpinned by a new 10-year strategic programs of cooperation running through to 2029. Well, to tell us a little bit more about the significance of this anniversary and what this relationship between South Africa and China means for the two states, I caught up with the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Candith Mashego-Dlamnini. Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ms. Candith Mashego-Dlamnini, thank you very much indeed for joining us and welcome.
Thank you very much, Peter, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. And it's a year that marks 25 years of cooperation, diplomatic ties with China. In broad terms, what has this relationship meant over the years?
Well, Peter, we're celebrating the 25 years of our bilateral relation with China. And I think on bilateral side, the political relation between South Africa and the People's Republic of China has been strengthened through promotion of the close bilateral engagement in various areas of mutual interest. On a multilateral side, Peter, political cooperation has been improving through close consultation, as you're quite aware that we are consulting in the context of the non-aligned movement. And this has resulted for the promotion of the global level on African agenda and also the agenda of the global South. On the economical side, Peter, our relation with these two countries, South Africa and China, it has just boomed, and China has just become South Africa's largest trading partner, with a total trade currently standing at 500 billion rand. It has allowed South Africa diversity in its economic interest. And also, we are looking forward to really engage with towards the East and to deliver the foreign direct investment so that we can increase our investment in South Africa. I think these are the very critical issues that we had, and it's an ongoing process.
All right, we'll talk about some of those a little bit more just now, but the relationship with China actually predates the official diplomatic ties. Give us an indication of the role that China played in helping South Africa defeat apartheid.
Oh, well, as you're quite aware that the formal diplomatic ties started in 1998. But definitely our relationship with China as South Africa, it's dating back to 1950s. As you're quite aware that at that time, the African National Congress and the PAC has been on the struggle really for liberation in South Africa. So China was instrumental in a very big way to organize a conference that was called a Bandung Conference in 1955. And in that conference, it has brought together all the Asian countries really to sympathize with the African countries for really starting to help them in their liberation and also for the liberation of South Africa, as you're quite aware, Peter. And China has been very much instrumental, especially in the multilateral level, where they were supporting us, especially in the UN, for really making sure that we in South Africa and also Africa in particular is liberated. So we are looking forward to that. The contribution of China has been very big. And many African countries, Peter, they benefited, especially military training from China. And South Africa is also part. We've got our comrades that have been trained in China. So this is a very big contribution that they've made to African countries, number of them, and all those countries have been liberated. That's why our ties is so close and so strong.
You talked about a little bit about the agreements and some of the exchanges that have taken place between the two countries over the years. Let's talk a little bit about BRICS because China has just handed over the chairpersonship of BRICS to South Africa. How has this BRICS relationship strengthened the ties between China and South Africa?
Well, Peter, South Africa was invited by China to join BRICS, and we have joined BRICS in 2010. And during that time, we participated in BRICS, and that has allowed South Africa to engage on an equal footing with these key international power countries in the BRIC as BRIC partners. And we also, it has also allowed South Africa to represent a particular interest of the continent and to influence the agenda of the global south, because as we're quite aware that when we get an opportunity as South Africa, we want to spread it, we want to make sure that the continent also benefit. Our relations with China in the BRICS, really it has just aligned and strengthened our bilateral that we have as we celebrate our 25th anniversary with China.
All right. Can you talk a little bit more about the types of agreements and exchanges that have taken place between the two countries over the years?
Oh, well, Peter, we have got a number of mechanisms that we are using to really discuss issues with China. We have one mechanism is a cooperative, comprehensive strategic partnership agreement that we have, which has got a 10-year strategic program of action, which started in 2020 up to 2029. We have also a number of agreements that we are doing. We've got a binational commission, we've got a strategic dialogue, we've got a high-level people-to-people exchange mechanism, and we've got a joint working group. And all these mechanisms, Peter, has made us really to make sure that our relation is really very strong, and we are implementing certain projects through all these bilateral relations that we have. We recently, our President Cyril Ramaphosa, had a meeting on the sideline of the G20 in Bali, in Indonesia, to discuss the implementation of our bilateral projects. We've got a number of projects that we are implementing with China. Some of them that I can really mention, the few of them, is the renovation of rehabilitation of the TVET training centers in Gauteng. We are also looking forward for the building of Umzimvubu Dam in the Eastern Cape. We are also looking forward also for China to help us in establishing the small harbors, because we're quite aware that we have got seas and all over, and we've got 2 seas here in South Africa. So we need really to develop the small harbors so that they can really make our economy to really grow.
Is this relationship with China a genuine partnership? Because people will often say that when it comes to Sino-Africa relations, China is the dominant power. And that often forces us as African countries to perhaps take positions that China takes, even if we don't 100% agree with it. South Africans will remember when the Dalai Lama wasn't allowed to visit the country, they were quite upset. And I just wonder if do we enjoy a genuine partnership, or are we subject to China's decisions on big issues?
Well, Peter, South Africa and China, we are often complementary to each other. And I don't think there's anyone that is on top of the other one, because as we're quite aware that we are together in BRICS and we have got a very strong bilateral relation as a country. But both of us in this relationship, we are almost implementing our own policy all the decisions that we're taking as South Africa are the decisions that are of our national interest, and we also balance our understanding of our national interest and also supporting our policies, our international policies that we have as South Africa. So there's no way we can really abdicate our responsibility as South Africa and becomes the small boy or the small guy of another country. So we've got our own policy, we've got our own national interest. So in every situation, in every event, South Africa had really to make sure that everything that they decide on, we decide in terms of our national interest that will benefit our people in terms of our international policies.
All right. So this year marks 25 years of diplomatic relations with China. What do you see in the future? What does this relationship hold?
Well, Peter, as South Africa, we feel that the future must really be very strong with our relation with China, because China is playing a key role in the global arena. As you're quite aware that we hope that China is going to shape the international politics and the economic system of the whole globe. China will remain an economic superpower and will play a key role in addressing global challenges, including the climate change. So as South Africa, we aim to maintain our positive strategic relation with China to deliver mutual benefit on the areas of our common interest. That's what we are looking forward for, and we seek to continue the support of the developmental agenda of the African continent, because we can see that China is very interested that really they can spread their responsibility and also their capacity to help our African continent really to develop. So we are looking forward definitely, and we are urging China to invest more to South Africa and also extend the investment to the continent.
Deputy Minister Candith Mashego, the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, thank you very, very much indeed for joining us and giving us some insights into this relationship that we've enjoyed with China for the past 25 years.
Thank you very much.